let's get back to reading Minagoroshi. Today I worked on the YouTube thumbnails that I did or whatever. Because I really whatevered or something. I don't know. Oh shit. So I worked on the thumbnails up to Meikashi. And I'm going to do something different with the ones not based off the same thumbnails. I was planning to do it that first. But now I'm going to do something a little more different with this today. With the other ones from now on. At that point, after Meikashi, I'm going to do something different for the thumbnails and Sumi Horogoshi. Sadako and Rika were already waiting for me, while injuries on her face covered with band-aids, painful. Sadako seemed to be full of life. It almost looked as though her wounds were from playing too hard or something. So, you stayed at the clinic last night?
Yes, I told him I was fine, but Coach wanted to keep an eye on me.
Yeah, that's what the doctor said, then you should listen to him. I see. You were scared to stay at the clinic alone, weren't you? I heard there are lots of ghosts inside hospitals.
Sadako can't sleep without me. Why can't you sleep without her? Why?
That's because Rika's the only one who can give her comfort. No sooner had Shion finished that sentence, a bucket went flying into her face. Sadako started chasing Shion in circles like they were playing tag. And now people who try to say that Rika and Sadako are not totally together, they just shut it. That's why in Higurashi goes so it just makes sense. Okay, anyway, I really miss this rambunctious fun.
I thought I'd never see this again.
I felt the same, but we got it back. We did this.
I think you did the most. It was your idea to go to the Child Consolation Center, and you were the one who asked everyone for their support.
I agree. I think Keiichi contributed the most. Most people in Hinamizawa who know who my part Keiichi is by now. Oops, I messed up.
Is Keiichi going to be a popular guy now? Is he?
I bet he'll be incredibly popular. Popular among old ladies, that is. I really envy him. I'd be fine with that if I could divide their ages by 3. What the hell does that mean, Keiichi? Many people were wearing yukatas. It was still June, but it felt more like it was the middle of summer. Once we finished climbing up the stairs, we could see the festival and the crowd enjoying it. The Furude Shrine was packed with people, leaving the grounds looking nothing like their usual quiet self. Lanterns of various colors were hung about, and people were swarming the various festival booths, giving the whole place an unorganized yet pleasant atmosphere. What a crowd! I had no idea there were even this many people in Hinamizawa!
Everyone comes to the festival. I think at least half of the population of the village is here.
There's more than just them. The neighboring town councils and youth groups are invited too. I see. We only have a few students in our school. That explains why there's so many kids around here today. Hearing the happy cheers of children is the best part of the festival. She's right. I'm in agreement there. There's a lot of booths around too. They were by far the best of the festival. Booths selling takoyaki, yakisoba, shaved ice, apricot candy, sauce senbei, chocolate bananas. There was a yo-yo game, a goldfish game, a shooting gallery, and there are countless booths here. Those booth runners came all from the city. You can't call it a festival without festival booths. So we're gonna have a battle in every one of them, huh? I'm not gonna lose today!
Yeah, same here! Let's do it!
Hello! Sorry I'm late! Am I the last one? Everyone's here now, huh?
Once our club gets together, there's no way we can just sit back and enjoy the festival!
Of course not! We're doing it again this year. This Watanagashi festival for the 6 of us will be the Battle of the 6 Evils!
Sadako, there's no reason to hold back this year. Let's enjoy the festival with all our might. You don't even need to mention it. I too declare that I will be the victor.
Yeah, Sadako, you go, girl. that happened before the night behind us.
Let's play with everything we've got! It's been a good week since we all got together!
Yeah! Tonight we're all enjoying this festival to the fullest! As we enjoyed the festival, many people called out to Sadako. Some of them showed concern for her injuries, some of them expressed their sympathy, some of them offered her support. Sadako must have been happy. She says it's strange to see people treating her like this. I think it's her trying to hide her feelings. I'm sure she realizes just how much the village changed for her. I didn't know how long that dialogue would be, so I paraphrased it, sorry. My, hello, you seem to be enjoying yourselves. Hi, Rika. I'm here like I promised. The festival has sure grown to a splendor.
Who's this guy? You know him, Rika? Akasaka is never there when I need him.
Huh? Oh, what are you talking about? Did I do something to make you upset? While you were at the hot springs with your wife, things sure got hectic around here.
Oh, Rika's talking with some strange older guy. I wonder if she's someone she knows. I wonder.
Who is he? Who is he? Introduce him to this old man too. When Akasaka showed up, I still believed that fate could be changed through the power of a single hero alone, but that was my mistake. Miracles are not made by one person. They can only be achieved by everyone working together. It was wrong for me to expect him to magically change my fate. Even if he had been here for me, I might have been disappointed in him for not being able to do anything. He didn't do anything wrong, but I acted all bitter toward him anyway. I did feel guilty after saying what I did. I really shouldn't act this way anymore. I should enjoy and celebrate the fact after so many years we're together again. Hey, my Bara boy, I heard about what you did! I heard about it too. I heard you fought Oreo with a sword, so she finally gave in. Good on you! I didn't do that! We had a peaceful negotiation, that's all. Still, I'm proud of you. You led everyone and actually negotiate with the center. Hey, you, I'll give you some apricot candy. How many do you want?
Wow, Keiichi, you're so popular today. I'm sure Keiichi is into old ladies too. I don't know what Rika's trying to say, and I don't even want to know.
People are talking to Keiichi too. This whole village knows about his leadership skills now, especially in how he persuaded Oreo. Everyone had been aware for a long time they were only treating Sadako harshly because of the tradition formed since the dam conflict. Keiichi is the one who destroyed that cycle. The people of Hinamizawa, both young and old, see him as a hero. With the whole village talking about Keiichi, of course the auction he hosted ended up being a great success. He was shy in the beginning, he put his heart and soul into the show, and managed to entertain all onlookers. I'm sure Keiichi will bring many more good things to this village. The other people are especially glad to see a heroic young man like him. Oh, that's the guy who helped us yesterday. Thank you so very much for your assistance. Oh, I should introduce him to you then. This is my Uncle Saburo, who's in the Prefectural Assembly. This is my other Uncle Ken, and he's in the City Council. Sorry that we were late yesterday. We got lost on our way here. No, you were both a great help. I was really impressed to see the power of elected officials. Well, we were chosen to fight in the place of its citizens. Of course we're strong. We're glad that Sadako is safe. Talk to us again if there's anything you need. We'll be glad to help. They rubbed Sadako's head while they spoke.
Thank you very much.
There are a number of powerful Sonozaki people around the main tent. All of them are people who helped yesterday. Everyone except Sadako bows out of respect. Until just a few days ago, these people had nothing but terrible things to say about the Hojo family, but Keiichi cleared it all away. I'm sure they also regret their rudeness. I'm sure they'll never discriminate against Sadako again. In fact, they bow their head to her instead and apologize. They promise her they'll be glad to help her in the future if she ever needs anything. You must be proud of your son. Oh, no, it's not really a big deal. Hey, Keiichi, we're here too!
Keiichi's parents are here! Good evening! Nice to meet you. I'm Keiichi's Meow Meow, Rika. Nice to meet you. My name's Hojo Sadako.
So you're Sadako. Such a poor little girl. Look at her face. You can make use of Keiichi if anything happens again. And in return, what would you think about mauling for me?
Your father reminds me a bit of the coach.
Sorry. That's just the kind of person he is.
Still, he seems very nice and fun to be around.
Keiichi's parents are also here at the festival. Since their parents are a hero, they're getting special treatment too. From what Keiichi says, it's a good opportunity for his parents to get to know people. His father's telling people he'll draw up a picture if the council ever needs a poster. Apparently, Keiichi's father is a wonderful artist that people have tried stealing his work before. I'm looking forward to seeing it someday. Okay.
This is the best Watanagashi festival I have ever had.
Yes, I feel the same way. You've been around a lot longer than me. If it's your best one, then it must be mine too.
Oh, well, still, I think this is the most fun and exciting festival we've had since it became known as Watanagashi.
The Watanagashi festival only became just like this a few years ago, didn't it? It used to be just a boring traditional ceremony that the Furude family held. And before that, it used to be something different, more like the things that Takano was interested in.
Oh.
Sorry. I'll try not to be mean to you today. Let's go have fun, the both of us. It's a special night for both me and you. Hanyu was muttering to herself. We had once seen a world where Shion killed Sadako. Both that horrible world and this fantastic one. They're the same Hinamizawa. The people in this world only know Hinamizawa is happy. But Hanyu and I both know the truth. We know there's tragedy hiding behind only a thin sheet of paper. And that's why we can appreciate this world in a way greater than anyone else can. If Keiichi had lost his mind today, it would have never happened. He would be committing a crime tonight. If it had happened to Shion, it would have been the same. Rena would have beaten her by a long shot. That corpse would have been long buried by now. Miu never lost her mind in any of the worlds. Maybe she doesn't have the guts. I suppose that's a little mean. There were times I went on a rampage too, but no matter what, I end up being killed instead. How pathetic. Either way, I never worked in any world. We never got our happiness back like that. That's why I gave up. But this time I was the only one who did. Everyone worked together to make a miracle happen. Again, it only happened because everyone helped each other. I'm not taking credit for anything, but I don't think the miracle would have happened if I continued not to believe. If I hadn't gone on the phone at the end, Sadako wouldn't have asked. The miracle happened because everyone tried their hardest. If even one of us gave up, the miracle would have vanished into nothingness. It was Keiichi even who told me how easy it is to change your fate. Sorry, I have to paraphrase. If there's a meaning to Keiichi's existence here, it might be some kind of message. Thanks to him, I know not only it means to fight against fate, but how I'll never give up again and accept my fate again. This is the opposite of what Hanyu wants me to think, but I'm sure Hanyu can make a miracle happen too if she stops giving up and starts believing. I even told her so, but she just goes ow and avoids the subject. Okay, it's like, okay, because some of the dialogue, it goes on by itself and I can't do anything about it, so. And if I can't do anything about it, I really can't. Alright, new tip, discolored notebook. Okay. So let's save over that. Oh crap! I wasn't charging it? Shit! That's not good. Now there's gonna be this awkward yellow bar around it. I'm sorry. So let's read the tip. A discolored notebook. Watch therefore, ye not... Wait. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord... Ah, let me say this again. This is so annoying. Watch therefore, for ye not know what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, what if the good man of the house had known in the watch the thief would come? He would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not the Son of Man cometh. Even God doesn't know when he will descend once more. He is constantly prepared for that day to come. Have faith in your God at all times. Your God doesn't even know when he'll see the light. Do not spare any effort. Study hard every day. Have passion for the discovery. You never know when you will be rewarded, but that day will come for sure. Until then, you must let the fires of your passion burn bright. Hifumi T. I know who this is. I know who wrote it. Yeah, I remember you telling us about that. But why? Why do you think Takano and I will be murdered? My, frankly, it would be an honor for us to be the victims of the fifth curse of Oyashiro. As I expected, they didn't really take me telling them that they'd be killing the Knight of Watanagashi seriously. They kept their promise to tighten up my security after I showed them the ritual storehouse. However, they hadn't even given one thought to their own safety. Oh, well, like I said, I didn't expect them to believe me. If they're willing to take me seriously, I could have easily changed their fate a long time ago.
I'm only going to tell you this one more time. Tomitake, you're going to claw out your throat and die. Takano, you're going to burn on death on some top of some mountain.
I'm going to claw out my throat like the terminal symptoms of level 5? Don't worry, I took the shots. I don't have the disease. What happens to me is horrible too. I'm going to burn to death on some mountain. Did you have a dream about that?
I just want the both of you to be careful, at least for tonight. Please listen to me, even if you don't really believe it.
Did you have an ominous vision about some danger befalling us, perhaps? Don't worry, you're under the protection of the mountain dogs. You've had 8 security guards watching you today.
Thank you very much. I know I'm being protected, but I want you guys to be careful too.
Thank you for your concern. We'll be fine. I've even been working out. I think I can protect myself. Tomitake flexed his biceps and smiled. He was probably trying to make me feel better, but all he really did was make me feel sadder. This is the sad part about being me. I know the future, but I can't tell them. It's as if that is a rule of the world. People tend not to believe what I tell them.
But you are going to die. If Tomitake and Takano die, I'll be killed next. If the two of you are dead, who will protect me?
It sounds like you've had a horrible dream. Don't worry. Even if we die, the mountain hounds will still protect you.
Are you really sure they would? They've never protected me before.
That's not true. They saved you when you got in that fight, remember? They're watching you at all times. Of course they aren't on alert at all times, but just as you requested the other day, the security around you is still extremely strong. You even have a better security team than Dr. Irie.
They'll keep on protecting me even after you die?
Of course. You're the most important person to us. So you're sure we're getting killed tonight? That's too bad.
If you have no intentions to survive, then I only have to worry about myself.
My words must have left a mark on his heart. He looked much more serious after I'd said that to him. Good grief. Okay then, I'll be extra careful tonight. I'll take a security guard with me when I'm going back to Okinomiya.
I think someone might attack the two of you if you're alone together. Make sure not to be alone with each other tonight.
My, are you jealous? You're such a precocious girl. Like I thought I can't change their fate. When we saved Sadako, everyone shared the same sense of urgency. That's why we all got together and saved her before it was too late. However, these two have no sense of urgency at all. How can I make them understand? I sighed and gave up.
Tomitake, Takano, goodbye. Thank you for everything.
Hey, wait, Rika! I had nothing else to say to them now. Instead, it might be worth talking to someone else. If I could get someone else to protect them, I might be able to change something. I can't give up yet. Fate is as thin as a sheet of paper. It's just like a lid on a jar of jam. It's not going to open unless you believe it will. I have to believe that I can change my fate. If I don't, it's not going to change.
Tomitake and Takano, are you sure about this?
I've told Irie so many times in the past. Irie tends to listen to me more seriously than Tomitake and Takano do. However, that doesn't mean he can actually do something about it.
I'm the Shrine Maiden of Oyashiro, and I have a bad feeling about this. Is that not a good enough reason?
I understand. It might be a message from Oyashiro. If that really happens tonight, it'll be the 5th time in a row. I'll tell the 2 of them to be cautious, too. All Irie would end up doing would be warning the 2 of them, which is exactly the same as what I did. In other words, it wouldn't matter in the least. Irie is just a researcher. He has no ability to deal with the unexpected trouble. That's why Takano works for him, after all.
Please talk to them. Please.
Who else would treat me seriously? Who would be able to prevent Tomitake and Takano's death? That's right. There's one man who's been fighting the curse of Oyashiro with all his might. Oh, it's Furude. I've been looking for you. Akasaka wants to say goodbye.
I guess he and I are not meant to be.
You're still upset about last week. Akasaka really regrets he wasn't able to help you. He said he'd love to come back to Hinamizawa again when he has his next vacation. But his wife took it personally. He's pretty, his wife, but she can be scary too.
Oishi, I have something important to tell you, but no one else believes me.
What's the matter? I've spoken to him several times in the past too. He usually takes me pretty seriously. However, after they die, he starts suspecting me. That's why I stopped talking to him. Where'd you hear that? We're at the festival. I told him I heard someone talking about the murdering in the crowd. That way he might not be suspicious of me after the murder really happens. Tomitake's not from around here. With Takano, that makes 2 people. One going to die and the other's going to disappear. This could be the 5th year's curse of Oyashiro. I can't take this as anything more than a rumor, you understand? But just in case, we'll keep our eye on the 2 of them tonight.
I think they were saying that they were going to attack them somewhere between Hinamizawa and Okinomiya.
Tomitake's body will be found on a road leading out of the village. From what I remember, he's discovered at the concrete road that turns to gravel. I see. I have a cruiser patrol around there. We can spare that at least. He agreed to get involved and he wasn't suspicious of me either. I'm sure it seems odd to people that Oishi actually believed this phony-sounding story of mine. The thing about Oishi is that he strongly believes that there's no smoke where there's no fire. I've learned from experience that he tends to believe my information. However, that personality of his has caused me so much trouble in previous worlds. Of course, there's no question why he's so eager to believe me either. This is his last chance to expose the curse of Oyashiro before his retirement. Even if it might be fake, he still wanted to believe it. That was convenient for me, since I couldn't show proof. Hey, Kuma, you read? Can you hear me? Have a cruiser patrol road back to Okinomiya. No, it's just a precaution. I heard a rumor something bad might happen around there tonight. Yeah, 2 officers would be fine. Thank you.
Thank you. No one else believed me and I didn't know what to do.
It's my job to believe these things. We'll just be glad nothing happens. Be happy to swing and miss. Well, that's what my late colleague used to say. Besides, it's even worse if you ignore what you're told and don't take precautions, you know? I see. That's his way of thinking about things. That's why he believed me without question. I hope he won't consider me a suspect after they find their bodies tomorrow. I shouldn't worry about that now. I can still do more. Who else should I talk to? Should I talk to my friends? I can't give up. I should at least try. No way! You heard someone talking about that? On the day of the festival? That's so wrong! You mean the curse, right? You're talking about the curse of Oyashiro that might happen tonight? Yes. It's happened 4 years in a row. Lots of people think it's going to happen again tonight, too.
Well, they believe it's their business, but it's not nice for them to talk about Tomitake and Takano like that. I think you should talk to them about this just in case, I think. I already did, but they didn't believe me.
I bet they didn't, but it's too late if something really does happen. I think you should talk to Oishi.
I already did.
Huh? I'm kind of impressed you've done all that, Rika. I agree that they should take every precaution, especially tonight. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa, commonly known as the Curse of Oyashiro, I really don't want them to keep happening every year. Somebody might end up imitating it. It's bad publicity for the village, too. So, if nothing happens tonight, it means the curse is over, right? We should definitely make sure that nothing happens then.
What can we do? Are you suggesting that we should patrol the village or something?
I think patrolling might be even more careless. Do you really think we can do much about this? For starters, there's a chance some deviant trying to imitate the serial murders might be within the Watanagashi Preparation Committee. So let's beware of any unfamiliar faces.
It's easier for us to tell strangers apart from the locals. We can spot them right away. I think we'll be fine. But Tomitake and Takano will still be killed. Rika! Alright, let's try to do what we can.
I agree. We can't protect them all night, but let's stay with them at least until the festival's over. As long as we're there, the bad guys won't be able to do anything to them. I couldn't tell if they really did believe me or not, but they listened to me at least. We decided to keep our eyes on Tomitake and Takano and protect them for the rest of the night. I guess I've done everything I can now, though it's hard to believe this is enough to prevent their deaths. I just have to hope nothing's happened when I wake up tomorrow morning.
Do you think you can prevent Tomitake and Takano's deaths, Rika?
It might be impossible. Their deaths might be the bell that portends my doom. But Takano told me earlier that even if they die, the mountain hounds are supposed to keep protecting me. They might bring in more squads from Tokyo too. Even if they die, the situation will be different this time.
What if it still doesn't work out?
Then I'll just have to die. Anyway, I'm not going to give up until the very end. I'll struggle to my very limits. I won't give up and spend the rest of my time drinking wine.
Do whatever you want to do, Rika.
You still believe that nothing is going to change on you?
I don't believe anything. It's only fate.
I keep getting hurt because I have hope, huh? If I'm an actress trying to get up on stage, Hanyu is a real bystander. We have very different opinions when it comes to this.
Rika, no matter what happens, don't give up.
It sounds like you're convinced that nothing is going to change. Lately, the things you have said have been pissing me off. I understand. Hanyu keeps telling me not to get my hopes up because she cares about me. Because I hope to defeat fate. I get hurt when that hope is betrayed. And the more I get hurt, the closer I get to losing my mind and disappearing. For Hanyu, that means losing her only friend. Losing me is probably the most unbearable thought for Hanyu, since she has to live alone, unable to communicate with anyone else. Now I believe that fate can be changed. Even when I didn't have that fate, I still believe that eventually I'll find my way out of this maze. Perhaps Hanyu knows something I don't. I might just be a goldfish inside of a fishbowl. There might be no way for me to escape my fate. We're stuck alone inside of a fishbowl. Yet every day I knock on the glass believing I can break it someday. Hanyu keeps telling me that I'm wasting my time. If I get hurt and die, she would have to survive all by herself inside the fishbowl. And with that, I think I finally understand our difference of opinions. Hanyu has lived for a much longer time than I have. Because of that, she understands the laws of this infinitely spanning world better than I do. No matter how much I refute Hanyu, I can never refute the truth. Even so, I still have to believe in my own faith. I believe in a spear that will pierce the wall of fate. My faith will make that spear sharper than ever. We found Tomitake in the crowd and struck up a conversation with him to keep him around as long as we could. However, as soon as the festival ended, they tried to leave. If they left now, I'd never see them again. Mion tried insisting they stayed at her house for the night, but Tomitake refused. Everyone tried various ways to stop them from being alone because the murderer might be around. However, we eventually started to believe that they wanted to be alone for adult reasons. I wound up suggesting that we shouldn't interrupt the two lovebirds.
Don't worry, Rika. Tomitake's a man after all. I'm sure he'll do anything to protect Takano.
Is that right? If something happens, you'll rescue me, right? That's the plan.
Well, we really should go now. It's getting pretty late.
Thank you for your concern. Don't make any obsessions. I'm headed to the clinic because I left something there. Takano has the key, so we have to go together. Oh, I didn't know you were into playing doctor. Nah, I think he's more into playing gynecologist. Crap.
I wonder how they'll play doctor, I wonder.
Rena punched them. Don't hit them just because you feel embarrassed. And as for you two, stop only getting along when you're making dirty jokes. Goodbye, everyone. I really am just going back there to get what I forgot. Don't follow us, okay?
Tomitake, please be careful. I do think you're overreacting, Rika.
Everyone laughed when Sadako yawned. It seemed like a good time to call it a day. It doesn't feel like I was able to change their fate. I just hope they pay attention and they're prepared for whatever faces them. I still might have a chance. All I can do now is pray. Goodbye, Tomitake! Please show us the pictures you took next time.
Make sure you wear your punishment shirt.
Man, I'm so jealous you get to spend a night with a pretty lady. Whoa! Oh my god, Keiji. I'll see you guys again. I guess it'll be in fall. That is if we don't get killed tonight. Good night, everyone. Good night! That was the best I could do on the night of Watanagashi. Please tell me what happened on this night. This is like a box with a cat inside. Please tell me what happened on this night. I don't even know if the cat is alive or dead inside the box. Please tell me what happened this night. The cat in the box is dead. Frederica Berncastle. Oh, thank God I finished it before it was over. Tomitake gathered up his paperwork and slipped it inside of his bag. They sure were persistent. I wonder if they really wanted us dead. How rude of them, huh? It was only a dream. Please make sure that Dr. Erie examines Rika. Her nightmares might be a symptom of something. If anything happens to her, it would be a disaster. Takano touched Tomitake's hand gently. As he turned bright red, Takano moved in closer and spoke. The way she acts is just too sexy, Tomitake thought. Hey, Jiro. I have something very important to tell you. Will you listen to me? What is it? You have something to tell me too? I hope you didn't see me claw my throat out in my dream. What would you say if I did? Takano stared at him with a mischievous look as if seducing him, and started whispering into his ear. I'm really surprised. That girl might have a godlike power after all. What does that mean? Takano smiled gently and pulled back her hair. Even seeing her do that made Tomitake's heart race. I really like you. That's good to know! Takano's fingers curled around Tomitake's chin, stroking, tickling, and caressing it. Her movements were very captivating and seductive. I've dated a lot of guys, but none of them interested me as much as you. I've learned that someone with a personality like yours makes the ideal partner for me. You're willing to accept everything I stand for. I believe that you understand me completely. That's why I can give you everything I have. I want you to accept everything about me. Do you understand? Well, Takano, what's the matter? Her voice didn't really sound that affectionate. Tomitake knew from the experience that he couldn't grasp what was on her mind when she wore a cold smile like that. Finally, it's almost here. It seemed as though she couldn't wait for something to happen. There was a chilling allure to her strange smile that made one question if something exciting was really about to happen. What's almost here? Tomitake asked, trying hard to resist the temptation. The day my dream comes true. Your dream? Yes, my dream. Didn't I tell you before? Or do you forget everything we talk about in bed? No, I remember. Your dream. Tomitake's response was vague. Either he didn't remember, or he hadn't understood it very well. Finally, the curse of Oyashiro is going to come true. That's what I've been dreaming about ever since I was a child. Jiro, listen. I can't be with you anymore. What? What do you mean? You see, I belong in a different world. Hinamiza are where demons and humans once coexisted. That's why we met each other here. But all that is going to come to an end soon. The eclipse of the sun brought humans and demons together. Do you understand what I'm saying? Takano, did you drink a bit too much at the festival? You're drunk, right? Tonight is a night of farewells. Thank you for teaching me about the sunlit realm. Your warmth was like the glow of the midday sun. We really did have a wonderful relationship. I'm so sad that we have to say goodbye. She pulled herself away from Tomitake and slowly stepped back, as if signaling the time had come for them to part. I don't know what you're trying to say. What's this all about, Takano? I want you to make a decision. I want you to decide to stay with me and abandon the sunlit realm. If what you told me was all true, then I know you have no doubts. By that time, Tomitake understood that Takano was asking him to make an important decision. Could it be your... That's right, Jiro. Tomitake got up from the seat and looked at Takano straight in the eyes. There was a faint glimmer of hostility within those eyes. Is your work more important than me? I thought so. I can't believe this. I trusted you! Those words were ones of rejection. Takano's lips twisted into a cruel smile. Oyashiro united the humans and the demons. But I guess he can't unite you and me. Takano slowly opened the door. 6 men in overalls were standing there at the ready. Tomitake was frozen in shock. The 6 men walked up to Tomitake with no expressions on their faces. It was immediately obvious they were going to do something to harm him. What is this all about? Hinamizawa syndrome is like a bomb with a lit fuse. Your plan is to dismantle that bomb before it explodes. However, there are some people in Tokyo who want to see it go off. No! What good will that do for anyone? Nobody ever does anything that is beneficial to them. Therefore, if they want the bomb to explode, it must be doing good for someone. Your question just now is a pretty meaningless one. I can't believe this. There are people who want that to happen. Hinamizawa syndrome was a very dangerous disease. You know that as well as I do. I do. It would be a disaster if it had an outbreak. Tokyo wouldn't be able to cover it up either. Did the faction bribe you? It was actually my mission from the very start. I'm so sorry. We belonged in different worlds from the moment we first met. What are you going to do to me? It would be great if you came over to our side. Of course, that would mean that you'd have to betray your own people. You're expecting me to turn on them. Jiro, if your feelings for me are real, will you support me? You'll be compensated, of course. If you wish, I'll dedicate my whole life to you. I'll do whatever you want me to, whenever and wherever you want. My body will belong to you. You can dominate me to satisfy your needs whenever you like. I'm willing to be all yours. Hey, don't you want to dye this body of mine in your scent? Her words were a kind of assault, directly hammering at the emotions men had difficulty resisting. They were like an evil spell to control his heart. Upon hearing them, Tomitake felt an unknown sensation rush up his spine as his feet froze in place in trance. However, he forced himself to resist the temptation. He sealed the cracks in this wall of reason to stop Takano from forcefully entering his heart. I refuse! She had known from the start that Tomitake was going to refuse her. Even so, Takano let out a triumphant laugh. It's funny. She thought Tomitake would refuse right away. However, it took him a while to refuse because of how effective she was at seducing him. The time it took for him to refuse her was one victory for Takano. For Tomitake, it was a time of humiliation. Takano continued to laugh. She sounded rather like an evil witch. I thought you would say that. That's why I love you so much. Takano raised up her right hand and gave a signal to the mountain dogs. Okanogi, you're betraying me too. I'm sorry, Lieutenant Tomitake. Are you surprised? The mountain dogs work for me. It was us who controlled this clinic all along. You and Dr. Irie are the only people who didn't know. Shit! Tomitake moved into action, sensing the danger was about to befall him. His fists thrust out as quick as lightning, knocking out one man before he could even blink. However, the other mountain dogs certainly weren't going to just stay there and watch. They all attacked him as one. He tried to strike back with an elbow, but he simply couldn't overcome the difference in numbers. Tomitake tried his best, but soon enough the mountain hogs had wrestled him to the ground. Damn it! Let go! Let me go! Stop struggling already! He pinned him down so hard that he couldn't move an inch. Impressive, Jiro. You fought pretty well considering you were up against 6 people. Takano walked over and smiled while looking down at Tomitake. Hey, Jiro, I know you're going to refuse, but let me ask you one more time. Will you change your mind and join my side? Never! I'll never join with you! That's what I wanted to hear, so I could sever all my attachments. Takano was holding a small case in her hands. She opened it up and showed Tomitake what was inside. What's in that syringe? Oh, come on now. I'm sure you know what it is. No, we destroyed all of them! Jiro, let me guess what you're thinking. Even if this is what you think it is, you should still have immunity because you took the vaccine. Isn't that what you're thinking? That's why you're not scared, right? Well, let me tell you something nice. That vaccine you took before you came here was fake. You may not have noticed it, but you're already a level 3 patient of the Hinamizawa syndrome. Jiro, you have a tendency to look away when you get an injection. That's not very smart. You should always make sure of what you're getting. Shit! Let me go! Tomitake struggled to get away, but he simply couldn't move. Upon seeing his sorry state, Takano laughed with glee. I'm sure you know very well about H173. You'll become infected instantly and will virtually become a level 5 patient. You saw how the experiment turned out, no? The subject was displaying extreme irritation in the neck and armpit areas. Based on our past studies, patients with level 5 suffer from extraordinary irritation in their lymph nodes. It might be an antigen-antibody reaction. In other words, Jiro. If you're lucky, you might be able to die just as Riga predicted.
I'm sorry. Cough. My bad. I hate it when I cough.
Can we try that again? Okay, let's try that again. I did not I was trying to hold it back, but damn it. Okay. Okay, let's try that again. I'm sure you know very well about H173. You'll become an infected instantly and will virtually become a level 5 patient. You saw how the experiment turned out? No. The subject was explaining the extreme irritation in the neck and armpit areas. Based on our past studies, patients with level 5 suffer with extraordinary irritation in their lymph nodes. It might be an antigen-antibody reaction. In other words, Jiro. If you're lucky, you might be able to die just as Rika predicted. Are you going to kill yourself or become disabled for life? Which would you prefer? Which one, Jiro? Stop! Stop! It's going to be too difficult to give him the injection like this. Put him to sleep, please. One of the men covered Tomitake's mouth with a towel soaked in some kind of chemical. He tried to fight it off with all his might, but his strength eventually left him, and he became as quiet as a beached whale. Takano stroked his face to make sure he couldn't resist. She brought the needle toward his throat. She pushed it right into his skin. As she squeezed down on the syringer's plunge, the skin surrounding the tip of the needle swelled up. Eventually, the contents were absorbed into his body. Goodbye, Jiro. When you wake up, you'll be in the middle of a wonderful nightmare. The mountain dogs finally got off of him. He couldn't even twitch. Someone put in my trunk. Two men lifted up Tomitake and carried him outside. Oh, hold on. I'm sure he'll be happy if I left him his bicycle. That way he can enjoy cycling in hell, too. The mountain dogs all quietly laughed at the joke. We're now going to commence Operation Doomsday. They all stopped laughing as she began to speak. Okinogi, you wait for the contact from headquarters. Keep your eyes on Dr. Irie. Also keep tabs on Furude Rika, too. I don't know what kind of power she has, but she predicted how Tomitake was going to die. I'm very curious about her, but that's too bad. Roger, I'll take care of things from here. Please be careful on your way. I don't have many guy voices, okay? There's not much to be careful of. By the way, where's Dr. Irie? I'm sure he's attending the festival's after party. He's still at the shrine. I wish I could see the look of panic that's on that nerd's face. The mountain dog started laughing again, too. Takano checked the time on her watch. It was nearly 10 p.m. Most people must have left the festival for home. Those people still were probably enjoying the after party after getting drunk inside the shrine. It was a good time for her to leave without being seen by anyone. I'm leaving now. I'm going to go and die. After saying that, she left the clinic alone. I'm sorry, I coughed. I don't know. She left through the back door. She left amid the moonlight, the singing insects, and the sound of a river. It was a typical night in Hinamizawa. While enjoying all these sensations, Takano got inside of her car. Tomitake was sleeping inside the trunk. His bicycle, on the other hand, was loaded into her back seat. How ironic. Your bicycle has a better seat than you. I'll let you out of here soon. I should leave him by the road that leads to Okinomiya. That'll be a good spot. Takano found a good place to drop him off, but she gave up on it as there was a police cruiser parked in that area. She figured they were probably patrolling to make sure the 5th year's curse didn't happen. Good job, officers. No one would ever suspect that there's a curse packed in my trunk right now. Takano drove into the less lit streets with rougher roads. Eventually the mountain road ended and she was surrounded by darkness. There were rice fields nearby. She could tell by the sound of croaking frogs. Takano parked by her car by the pitch-black roadside. She had to stop there, otherwise she'd be too close to a residential area. Indeed, she was nearly in Okinomiya. She would have dumped him earlier, but the police cruiser had foiled that plan. Takano pulled Tomitake out of the trunk and left him by the road. She also left him his bicycle. Tomitake let out a small groan. It probably wouldn't be long until he woke up. Goodbye, Jiro. Your awkward sweet talk was very entertaining. I wish I could hear it again. You'll be waking up soon. By that time, you'll be in the final level of stage 5. After a futile struggle, you'll meet with a miserable demise. I wonder if you're really going to claw out your throat and die. I wish I could be here to see it. Your mysterious death and my disappearance will complete the 5th year's curse of Oyashiro. The story of the curse of Oyashiro will be firmly established. You should feel honored, Jiro. You're going to be part of history. You might be losing your life here, but in a way you're going to live for eternity. That was her last farewell to Tomitake. Takano got back in her car and started driving. She could see the place she left Tomitake in her rearview mirror, but it was already shrouded in darkness. Ooh, boy. Takano drove through the main street of Okinomiya and made a few turns, heading for the dark mountains in the distance. It had been a while since she left Hinamizawa. It was almost midnight. She might have already made it to the neighboring prefecture. It was difficult to tell because she couldn't really see anything in the darkness. Takano stopped her car in the middle of all of that. After turning off both the engine and the headlights, there really was nothing but darkness surrounding her. It was as if time itself had stopped. Takano wasn't sure how long she'd waited, but eventually she saw the headlights of a car blinking twice. Ow, ow, my eyes! She blinked her own headlights at it. Soon she saw several people walking toward her. 2 men wearing blue overalls knocked on the window of Takano's car. Obligately, she opened it. They looked over her face and the paperwork they had in their hands. Hello, I'm Takano. Oops. After confirming her identification, they called someone over by the radio. Hello, we got the lady. Anyone following? No one's after you. You're clear for 500 meters. Nobody's following us. Your work is much appreciated. Please come with us to the command vehicle. I'll take your paperwork. The paperwork is inside the trunk. Here's the key. I do need some coffee. Could you get me some? The command vehicle was at the trailer with a bunch of high-tech communication equipment inside. The light of the electric equipment shone beautifully in the dark. Here's your coffee, Major. Another man in blue overalls offered her a paper cup. Thank you. What's going on with my corpse? They finished setting it up in the Gifu prefecture. Gifu? Did I burn to death in the mountains of Gifu? I'm not sure about the cause of death. I'll confirm it with someone. Operation Doomsday. That was the name of their mission. The goal of the operation's first stage was Takano's escape from Hinamizawa and the extraction of 18 specified classified documents. That goal had been completed. Assassinating the Malaysian from Tokyo Tomitake was also one of the goals. That had also been completed in the way Takano had planned. He was not killed that way just because Takano had wanted to see it. It was intentionally planned that way so that the office in Tokyo would be suspicious of the Irie Institute. They were trying to create the story that the Institute was upset with the recent budget cuts and the cancellation of their study. Tomitake's mysterious death would be a suitable way to persuade people. Tomitake was not the only one who was expected to die. Takano was expected to do so as well. However, Takano didn't really need to die herself. They had required a substitute body for her, so she didn't actually have to die. Takano had no idea how they got the body. According to what she heard, a team in Gifu took care of everything. Once Tomitake and Takano were dead, Tokyo would definitely grow suspicious of the Irie Institute. The main purpose of this mission was to make the Institute look reckless. I'm sorry, Major, there's been a problem in Gifu. A problem? What sort of problem? They made a mistake with the corpse. The body has already been dead for 24 hours. I see. And what's that supposed to mean? It means that you were already dead yesterday. Takano's body was supposed to be selected from the corpses of people who had died the same day. The plan was to burn the body and make identification of the corpse more difficult. They found a suitable body for the plan. However, they just found out that it had been dead for over a day. That would create a hole in their plans. They're going to collect another body to use instead. No, that's fine. we can still use that body as me. Huh? But that would mean... The messenger of Oyashiro was long dead, but came to the festival regardless. That's a good one. That's a very, very good one. Takano laughed with satisfaction for a while. The other people in the vehicle couldn't understand why Takano was laughing so much. Takano continued to laugh as if it was the funniest thing she'd ever heard. Go ahead. Call on the team in Gifu and tell them to stop looking for another body. I think this will make for an interesting twist. Are you sure? Shouldn't you be more cautious? Don't worry. Everyone saw Takanomiya walking around the Watanagashi festival. Even though the forensics lab does find out the body's been dead for more than a day, they'll just think the test results were wrong. Takano almost seemed to be enjoying the risk. Roger, I'll notify them. By the way, was my body burned inside of an oil drum? Yes, it seems someone already discovered it on the mountain near the freeway. Takano seemed surprised to hear that from him, and she started laughing strangely again. Nobody could figure out why she was laughing like that. I see. The reincarnation of Oyashiro really is gifted. I have to admit, she has a supernatural power that defies explanation. Tell the mountain dogs in Hinamizawa to tighten up the security on R. Roger. Major, the Okinomiya Police Department has discovered the body of Tomitake. They have, huh? The show is about to begin. Oishi, Dr. Irie has arrived. Oh, thank you for coming. So what do you think, Dr. Irie? Oishi entered the area closed by the blue tarp. In there, people from forensics were taking pictures of the dead bodies from various angles. Irie was squatting down next to the dead body of Jiro Tomitake. When he stood up, he was as white as a sheet. I can't believe it. Yep, I can't believe it either. As far as I see, he clawed out his throat with his bare hands. This isn't a normal way to die. Most likely, some kind of dangerous drug must have caused it. Are you saying he has a drug addict? I don't know, was he? It's going to be my job to find that out. Oishi, what's this 2x4 doing here? I think he was swinging it around and then he threw it away. He had more fun clawing out his throat, I guess. Why was he swinging a 2x4 around? He probably did it in self-defense. Did you notice there are several external injuries on his body? Yes, I can see some bruises. The easiest explanation I can think of is this. He was attacked by someone on his way home to Okinomiya after the festival. He was seized by the culprit, given a shot of some kind of dangerous drug, went crazy and died. I've never heard of a drug that can make people claw out their throats. I'm not an expert on it either, but they say self-harm is one of the terminal symptoms for drug addicts, right? Well, I'm sure the old man in forensics will take care of that after the investigation. Excuse me, Oishi! We found a bicycle believed to belong to Tomitake Jiro a mile away from here. Oh, is that so? Thank you. Did you find anything on it? Not yet. They're investigating it right now. So that means the place where the bicycle was found is most likely the place he was attacked. And he ran away from the culprit and came here. Oishi frowned, crossing his arms in front of his chest. Irie was looking at the miserable corpse of Tomitake, and he kept saying the same thing. It's impossible. It's just impossible. Irie knew right away Tomitake's death was caused by the terminal symptoms of Hinamizawa syndrome. He hadn't swung the 2x4 at a real person, but probably some kind of hallucination due to the level 5 symptoms. Bodily reactions to the hallucinations is one of the clearest characteristics of a terminal stage. However, Tomitake supposedly took a vaccine before he came to the village. There was no way he could reach level 5 symptoms in such a short period of time. Irie didn't want to believe it, but it was obvious someone intentionally injected him with the pathogen. The pathogen must have been strong enough to give him level 5 symptoms immediately. The only drug that can do that is H173, a chemical weapon that induces acute onset of symptoms. It makes people hallucinate, which inevitably leads to a horrible death. It's the absolute worst kind of demon. However, they had destroyed all of it due to its dangerous nature. All that was left were helpful chemicals, such as the vaccine and treatment drugs. Tomitake was their liaison from Tokyo. Whoever killed him must have had full knowledge about him and this drug. Sorry, I messed up the pronunciation. But how would that person know he was their liaison? Oops. That was when Iri of Takano. Takano is also a watchdog from Tokyo. She's something like a superintendent. It was quite possible that something bad had happened to her too. What about Takano? What happened to Takano? What? Oh, are you talking about your nurse? I think she was with him. Is she okay? Do you know her phone number? Of course. Kuma, get her phone number from Dr. Iri and have someone at the station call her home. Understood. Doctor, can I have the number? Yes, here it is. Kumagai got the phone number and repeated it to make sure he got it right, and dashed out of the blue tent. Doctor, Takano and Tomitake were close friends, weren't they? Yes. Have you heard about any troubles between them? No. Not even once. They were very close friends. Tomitake and Takano weren't just in a close relationship, they were co-workers from Tokyo. They had access to information that even Iri didn't. There's no way there would be trouble between them. Well, I hope she's alright. In the worst case scenario, she could be dead. Or she could even be the perp. I see nurses do have access to dangerous drugs, don't they? We don't have any drugs like that in my clinic. Even if we did, we'd store them with extra care. There's no way Takano could smuggle out a drug from my clinic. But it's easier for nurses to do it more than regular people, right? Like I said, I've never heard of a drug like that. And I don't have anything like that in my clinic. Iri made a clumsy excuses while he was trying to piece together what was going on. However, Iri had no means of knowing the state of affairs in Tokyo. He couldn't reach any further conclusions. So it was easy to laugh at him as though he was a frog trapped in the well. Oishi, she isn't home. The standby unit says they're going to go to her house to check. Doctor, can you give me her address? Kuma, can you also check if the police headquarters has found any unidentified female bodies tonight? Maybe we should check with the other prefectures, too. Get the section manager to call the nearby prefectural headquarters and ask if they have any unidentified female bodies. Yes, sir! The Okonomiya Police Department has contacted the Gifu Prefectural Police Department. Are you sure about this, Major? Sure. I don't mind. Just leave it there. Doomsday has almost arrived anyway. Everything will be destroyed even when they find out the time of death doesn't match. Well, well. Oh, now that we've revealed that Takano is the main baddie, which should be obvious. Okay, it's obvious. I actually heard that Iri was actually supposed to be the original perp. That's what I remember. The day after Watanagashi, Oishi showed up at our school. It isn't uncommon for Oishi to show up here today. Interestingly, he always asks to see the most key person in that world. He asked for Keiichi in the world where he gets sick. He asked for Rena in the world where she gets sick. In this world, he asked for me.
Did Tomitake really die?
Yeah. The way he went was pretty strange, too. Like he was on drugs and hallucinating. He clawed out his own throat until he died.
I couldn't prevent it.
There was nothing I can do now. I knew this was going to happen. I'm sure Takano is dead, too.
And Takano?
I have bad news about her, too. She was found burnt to death in the mountains over in Gifu Prefecture. Based on the condition of the body, she was choked to death before her body was burned. It's a tragic story no matter how you look at it.
I know what you're thinking. You think I know something about what happened to them.
Heavens, no. I only have one question. Who would talk about such a disturbing plan at the festival where anyone could hear?
You think I'm involved in this murder?
Well, I wanted to suspect you, but I don't. If you were responsible in some way, you wouldn't have given me the hints that you did. At the very least, I'm sure you're not involved with the people who killed them.
I'm glad you're not suspicious of me.
Oishi threw a 10-yen coin into the offering box and shook the bell in prayer. Please let us solve the mystery of Hinamizawa this year.
Are you trying to get me involved in your investigation?
I was just talking to Oyashiro. Oishi is well aware that people call me the reincarnation of Oyashiro. That must have been his attempt at a joke.
I'd like to see that curse disappear forever, too.
Oh, that means we both want the same thing.
I made a prediction where you might find Tomitake's body. Didn't you have the police cruiser nearby?
Yeah, I listened to your prediction and had a police cruiser patrol that area. Oops, I messed up. I'm sorry. The place where the concrete and the gravel roads meet. It's on the very border of the village. It gets very dark there at night. Always seems like something bad were to happen. It could happen there.
So where did you find Tomitake's body?
We found him dead by the rice fields near Okinomiya. That's not where his body is usually found. If he was fated to hallucinate and die, he would die in the exact same spot, wherever the cruiser was there or not. Because the cruiser was placed there, Tomitake's body was found in a totally different spot. In other words, the existence of the police cruiser disrupted that fate. Anyway, there's something else I found very interesting. I told the officers in the police cruiser to check every vehicle that passed by. As it turns out, one of the cars that headed over toward Okinomiya after the festival was Takano's. Takano lives in Okinomiya. It wouldn't be strange for her to head back home after the festival. However, she was the only one inside the car. Tomitake wasn't with her.
Tomitake always comes to Hinamizawa on his bike.
Then she could have loaded his bike in the trunk and given him a ride, but he wasn't with her. However, his body was found among the rice fields near Okinomiya past where the police cruiser was patrolling Hinamizawa.
What are you saying?
There's no way he could have biked through the dark woods to avoid the police cruiser. He somehow took the road without being noticed by us. Furude, can you tell me what you know about the relationship between Tomitake and Takano?
They're dating. That's all I know.
I find it hard to believe that Takano would drive back home in the dark without her boyfriend. What if she and Tomitake had her in his truck and she was planning to dump his body in the woods, but the cruiser was in that area? She had no choice but to pass by and dump him on the side of the road. Both Tomitake and Takano were sent here from Tokyo. I had no idea what their real identities are. I can't say that Takano had no reason to kill Tomitake. However, I had never considered the possibility before in my life. Takano killing Tomitake, but why? I can't think of any reason. Nothing comes to mind. It's hard to imagine Takano was cornered to the point that she had to kill him. In fact, it was more plausible to think that she was enraged when the lovesick Tomitake acted cold toward her and she strangled his neck. I never really thought they suited each other. I don't mean to insult Tomitake, but I thought Takano was way too smart for him. Have you heard any rumors that she was trying to use him for anything?
None, but I can ask around. I'll let you know if I find out something.
Thank you very much. I'm just glad the reincarnation of Oyashiro is on my side. But even the reincarnation of Oyashiro couldn't solve this mystery for over 100 years. But
you said Takano was killed too. How can she be the culprit?
Well, it's because you leaked me the information. I mean the prophecy. Without that, I'm sure I would have just believed that both Takano and Tomitake were victims of the 5th year's curse of Oyashiro. I feel like it's different this time. Maybe as though this is someone trying to make it look like the curse of Oyashiro happened.
So you really think that Takano is the culprit?
Basically, this is what Oishi is trying to say. They're both not victims. The culprit is also pretending to be a victim. They're not both victims. This is really hard for me to believe. I can't think of any reason why Takano would do something like this. Oishi only feels this way because he doesn't know her as well as I do. For another thing, how can he explain that Takano's body was found? Did the police in Gifu Prefecture identify the body? For a charred corpse, the easiest way to identify them is by their dental records. Although, according to the old man forensics, they're still not 100% sure. And besides, there's a contradiction with the estimated time of death. It just doesn't make sense.
What do you mean?
Well, the test results show that she was dead the night before the festival. Apparently, they inspected the contents of her stomach and such. By the time of testing, they'd already had information about Takano. They knew she was at the festival at that time of night and realized the test results didn't match up. They just dumped the results and decided to take dental records alone. These things do happen every once in a while. However, Takano really is the culprit. This body might belong to someone else.
Is it possible to do something like that?
When a body's burnt, dental records are the only way to identify it. It's This might sound too much like a mystery novel. What if, for example, someone faked Takano's dental records? If they were skillfully forged, we could have the wrong idea. Anyway, the Gifu Police Department was made up their mind the body belongs to Takano. Within the police departments, we sometimes have issues with false test results. That's how most false charges are made. It feels to me this is one of those times.
So you think Takano is alive?
Since last night, both Takano Mio and her car have gone missing. That body found in Gifu isn't Takano's. This is going to be a very interesting one indeed. Irie had already heard about the deaths of Tomitake and Takano. It seemed both the clinic and the office in Tokyo had flown into a panic over it. It's funny how they make a big fuss about their own people when they don't care about what happens to the other people's lives if it would get in the ways of their research. Takano's subordinate Okanogi was in the room. Okanogi is the leader of the Mountain Dogs. I came here to make sure he's still willing to protect me. Based on past experience, they tend to lose interest in protecting me after Takano dies.
Okanogi, Takano is dead, but am I still safe?
Don't worry, Rika. We'll still keep up the tight security around you. You don't have to call the police. I guess this is not part of that tight security. They must have been listening to my conversation with Oishi.
Oishi told me something. Is it true that Takano isn't really dead?
That can't be true. The Gifu Police Department made an official announcement that Oishi's retiring this year, isn't he? Sometimes he makes up stories because he's desperate to solve the curse of Oishiro. You shouldn't pay attention to anything he says. Well, he's not wrong. This year is Oishi's last chance. Because he's so desperate, he's developed a very bad habit of listening to every rumor he hears.
What's your opinion about this, Okanogi?
Right now they're still investigating, so I can't say anything. Knowing the relationship between those two, I think it's clear that this was done by someone within the organization. I glanced over at Irie as I listened to Okanogi speak. It seems whoever he was talking to over the phone accused him of killing them. Irie is frantically trying to prove his innocence. Soon enough, he hung up the phone. Irie looked upset that he was under suspicion, even after working so hard for the organization. Oh, Rika, I'm sorry for making you wait.
It seems like you're in big trouble.
Just as you heard. It sounds like there's some big conspiracy behind their deaths. People in Tokyo think I'm the one who's pulling the strings. Good grief. I have a lot of questions of how they figure that. I rarely ever saw Irie get so emotional. He must be feeling as though all his effort is being repaid with injustice. However, it's the fact that Irie was trying to fight against the budget cuts and downsizing of his research team. Tokyo was thinking that this could be his motive for killing them. In any case, everyone in the organization is suspicious. I understand how scared you must feel. The people who attacked Takano and Tomitake could be after you, too. The people in Tokyo are also concerned about that. We got the order to tighten up your security. Don't worry.
I'm relieved to hear that.
This is the first time the Mountain Dogs had ever tightened up my security. They usually become so busy keeping tabs on Irie after Tomitake and Takano's death, they end up ignoring me. Even though they're dead, I'm still in a pretty favorable situation.
So, do you have any idea who killed them?
People in Tokyo are investigating that right now. Based on the situation, it's clear this was done with someone within the organization. I guess I'm their prime suspect.
You're the only one who could kill Tomitake like that.
That's not true. The people in Tokyo are discussing the possible use of H173, but that drug was destroyed when the research was cancelled. It's impossible. However, they have no choice but to suspect you in this case. Mr. Tomitake even took a vaccine before he came here, but he still got infected. It must just be an extremely unlikely coincidence. Anyway, it's just impossible. Irie is usually a very calm person, but once the people in Tokyo start suspecting him, he often loses his mind.
Do you think Takano might be the culprit? She's someone within the organization.
Takano? No way. But as he spoke, Irie started to realize that everything could be explained if Takano was the culprit. But I don't know how to persuade him that's the truth. More than anything, people want to hear a motive. Not who did something, but why. knowing that probably isn't as important as it sounds. After all, you never know the motive unless the suspect talks. Guessing about the motive is just a waste of time. In other words, it's stupid to assume that Takano isn't the culprit just because I don't know what her motive is. Rika, you can't say something like that without any proof. She was very nice to you. How can you suspect her after that? Upon hearing me after being ungrateful toward his boss, Okunogi flashed me an unpleasant smile. Oops, that was supposed to be Okunogi. It's true that Takano was very nice to me. It might be disrespectful of me to suspect her. However, I still can't trust her completely yet. Plus, I've developed the same bad habit as Oishi. Am I believing every crazy theory I hear just because I'm desperate to escape from my fate? In any case, something bad is going on around here. We all need to be careful. Don't worry, we received an order to tighten up your security too. Yuri smiled bitterly. For him, their protection wouldn't be too difficult from stalking. Rika, make sure you don't give up too much information to the police. I think you understand, but you could create a problem if you talk to them about our secrets. He's implying that he'd kill anyone I talk to. This isn't the first time they've warned me about this. It's just, what if Takano really is the culprit? If she is, then Okunogi is almost certainly involved too. Then it makes sense he wouldn't want me to suspect Takano. But that would be horrifying. If Takano was my enemy, then the mountain dogs were too. This whole clinic is a lion's den. Iri is just a researcher. He probably wouldn't really know what's going on. The more I thought about it, the more confused I got. Why would Takano do something like this? I thought I'd just convinced myself that the motive shouldn't even matter, but I can't stop thinking about it. Is Takano really behind it all? Am I going as crazy as Oishi just because of how badly I want to solve this mystery? Perhaps. The mountain dogs are more like wolves looking after a flock of sheep. I've lived for over 100 years. I never once found out who killed me, and I stayed close to the Erie institution so they'd protect me. What if that was my big mistake? Well, I'm sure that Erie has no bad intentions. In my many lives, I got to see just how genuine his feelings are. I can trust him. However, he's not really reliable. Okunogi glanced over at me. He smiled and told me not to worry, but I noticed an evil glint in his eyes. It's possible that I have Hinamizawa syndrome and that was a hallucination. I don't understand anything. I don't even know who my enemies are anymore. There's no point thinking about this any longer. I have to only trust who I know I can trust for sure. There are only a few of those people though. Ire, Oishi, and my friends. If Okunogi is on Takano's side, he'll be watching me very closely. If I started accusing Takano of anything, who knows what they'd do to me. When this world first began, I thought I had no time left. But that wasn't true. The number of things that happened in just 2 weeks was immense. I probably only have a few more days left until the day of my death. What can I do? How can I change this? Am I supposed to take Hanyu's advice and resign this time? Yeah. She's been missing since the night of Watanagashi.
Could it be the curse of Oyashiro?
It's freaky that this has happened 5 years in a row now. Hinamizawa is a small village. Rumors spread fast here. Besides, she's Sonozaki Mion. She would have found about this yesterday, even if the police were trying to hide it. My friends were all talking about the mysterious deaths of Tomitake and the disappearance of Takano. People in this village are very superstitious. No matter what happens, they conclude everything is the curse of Oyashiro. The past incidents don't matter to me either way. All I'm interested in is the current one. The culprit of this case will probably kill me too. 2 days have passed since Watanagashi. Today is Tuesday, June 21st, 1983. At the earliest, I'll get killed on the night on the 22nd. That is tomorrow night. The day of my death is always different. I always end up getting killed, but the day when it happens varies. I guess their culprit has their own reasons for that. There's only one thing I'm sure about. Based on my experiences, I'll live for sure until tomorrow night. After then, I'll have to live with the fear of getting murdered at any moment. Still, there's no reason to be afraid. When I wake up, I'll be in a brand new world again. I can never remember how I'm killed. That's why I'm not afraid of the killing itself. I'm just frustrated that my life is repeating the same things over and over like a broken record. Moreover, however, at the present, I'm frustrated. My classmates just expect their peaceful days will continue forever, but I couldn't feel that way. I feel frustrated and full of sorrow, as I really don't want to die.
It's tomorrow night. Are you ready, Rika?
How foolish of you to even ask. What makes it look like I am? Hanyu was trying to warn me that I might get killed tomorrow night, as though she already knew it was going to happen for sure.
You worked very hard, Rika. This Live Swat Nagashi was the best festival I ever had. Didn't you feel that way too?
It was fun. It really was fun. Sadako had band-aids all over her face, but everyone was there together, and we kicked up a storm. I want this world to continue forever. I can't accept that. This world is going to end tomorrow at the earliest, and within 1 or 2 weeks at the latest.
I'm sure your next life will be just as fun.
So this world is over and done with. This is such a happy world, but it's just going to end like that? All of my friends are alive and happy. Keiichi doesn't feel alone, and Rena's family is happy too. Mune and Shion are getting along, as well as Shion and Sadako. The issue of Sadako's uncle is resolved, and she's no longer being treated coldly by the other villagers. This is the best world I've ever experienced. But this world is going to end.
Rika, you think of yourself as a normal person too often, when we're both special beings. Every child wants their birthday party to continue forever, but the party always ends. That's why children always wish for their enjoyable moments to continue for all time. But that doesn't mean they'll grieve over once a party is ended. Once they sleep, another day will come for them. Something wonderful will happen again. No one disappears like Cinderella once the party is over.
What a way for you to describe my view on life.
You're like a child who's crying because she doesn't want to leave the party. But there's no need to feel sad, is there? There'll be another party again soon. You'll still hate to go through another death, but it's only like sleeping for a while, isn't it?
Hanyu, don't you want to see what lies beyond June of 1983?
I would be lying if I said I didn't, but I'm more concerned about you getting consumed by that thought and getting hurt because of it. You just don't understand. Without you, I'd have to live for such a long time without anyone I'd talk to, and I'd only be able to stare at the festival without being a part of it. No one will be able to see me. No one will be able to hear me or talk to me either. Do you have any idea how miserable and lonely that will be? But I finally found you, Rika. I can't survive without you anymore. But I can't just die like you can either. I'll have to live all alone until the end of time. I'll have to be alone until someone like you shows up again. I don't want that. I can't stand the thought of it.
Hanyu.
Rika, please take back that heartbreaking promise you made. I don't want you to give up if this world doesn't work out for you.
Hanyu. I'm sorry. I'll have to think about it for a while. I want to do what I can until the end. When that happens, I can decide what to do. If I think there's some kind of hope, I can still go on living. But if I feel desperate enough, I can just give up. It might not ultimately be a bad thing to repeat June of 1983 over and over. Perhaps I might be blessed with another fortunate life someday. Hanyu nodded with a little satisfaction after hearing that, sensing that my feelings were starting to lean the way she wanted them. What's up, Rena? Are you planning to take Rika home with you?
Hey, Keiichi, don't you think that Rika seems to be feeling down?
I don't know. She might be feeling tired from doing the dedication dance at the festival. Rika was sitting all by herself, wearing a sad expression. I said she might still be tired from the festival, but that wasn't really how it looked.
Sadako's free now. I thought she'd have a spring in her step, but she's been acting weird since yesterday. I wonder if something's going on.
Sadako's issues are all settled now. There shouldn't be anything that's troubling her anymore. We thought Sadako and Rika might not be able to live together when they found a new guardian for Sadako. That problem's almost solved. Either the Sonozaki family or the Kimiyoshi family become her guardian. Mira Kimiyoshi is already Rika's guardian. If the Sonozaki family gets custody, Sadako will officially become Shion's little sister. Anyway, I had no idea why Rika was acting so upset. I think we should ask her what's going on.
I don't want her to think that we're insensitive. But I guess you can ask her, I guess.
So you're saying it's okay for me to be insensitive? Rena laughed and she stuck her tongue out at me. I walked up to Rika and struck up a conversation. Perhaps this is still troubling Sadako and we don't know about it. If there's that case, we need to help her. You don't look so good. Is anything weird going on?
Oh, Keiichi.
Rika had been daydreaming. It took her a while to realize I was talking to her.
Do I look upset or something?
Kind of. Is there anything that's the matter? It took her a while to answer. Such a long silence had to mean yes.
Keiichi, there's a poem I want you to listen to. Don't ask me who wrote it. I just want you to know what you think.
Alright, let me hear it then. Rika closed her eyes and recited a short poem. It went something like this. Everyone has the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to receive. Everyone has the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to fulfill. I have the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to compromise. That's a pretty interesting poem. Did you write it? Oh, I'm not supposed to ask that, huh?
No, you're not. What did you think after hearing it?
Everyone has the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to receive. I understand that. Everyone has the right to be happy, but that doesn't mean that everyone can receive that happiness. Everyone has the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to fulfill. This one's a little harder to understand, but exercising that right probably refers to the process of finding happiness. Everyone has the right to work hard for their happiness, but it's not that easy for that work to bear fruit. I have the right to be happy, yet it's so hard to compromise. I guess she's trying to talk about compromising your happiness? There's no limit to human desires. You can never stop wanting more. That's why people need to make compromises on their happiness. At least that's how I understand it. If she was trying to say that we should be satisfied with what we have, it sounds like a positive statement. But there's also a negative tone to the way it's presented. I think this poem is reflecting the feelings of the writer.
I think so too. So what else did you think?
She wouldn't admit it, but I'm sure Rika is the one who wrote that poem, and it's reflecting on how she's feeling. I'm not that smart, but even I can understand that. God, why is the street so fucking noisy? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was a sad poem.
Sad?
I understand the first two lines. Everyone has the right to be happy, but not everyone can become that happy that easily. I think those lines are describing the difficult parts of our lives. But the last line is different. Making compromises is the same thing as giving up. The writer of this poem has given up on their happiness, compromised with reality, and trying to convince themselves they're happy.
Trying to convince themselves they're happy, you say?
With plenty of regrets, too. Everyone can become happy with enough effort, but she thinks that she can't. The poem reflects her hopelessness. It's very sad.
Then, Keiichi, what do you think she should do?
She shouldn't give up.
She shouldn't give up?
The writer of this poem already knows she can be happy. It's something that she deserves. She's been thinking on how to become happy for a long time. If she really wants to be happy, she shouldn't give up. Remember, we overcame a desperate situation in only a few days. If we all work together, we can make a miracle happen. You saw it with your own eyes, didn't you? What's troubling you? Talk to me.
There's something I want to talk to all of you about. But if I do that, you won't be able to live in this village anymore. Happiness for me would be to see what's beyond June of 1983 together with all of you. It wouldn't mean anything if I lived beyond this June without you.
We won't be able to live in Hinamizawa anymore? Why is that?
They'll kill you if they find out that I talked to you. That's why I can't say anything.
What do you mean they'll kill us? Are you being threatened by someone? The word kill is not something most people use casually. I was shocked to hear it coming from her mouth. That's why I couldn't help but raise my voice.
I don't know who's the enemy and who's not. The only thing I know for sure is that someone is going to kill me.
Wait, Rika! Talk to me! What the hell's going on? Is Teppei threatening her? That isn't possible. The police arrested him. Besides, the Sonozaki family told him to never come back to the village. There's no way he could contact Rika in order to threaten her. And even if someone was that case, Rika could just talk to Mio and everything would be taken care of. But based on her expression, it seems like this is way deeper than that.
I'm sorry. If I talk, you'll be dragged into this. If I lose you, I'll have no more reason to survive. I just can't talk to you about this. I'm not going to compromise my happiness.
I don't understand what you're trying to say, but you sound just like Sadako did a few days ago.
Like Sadako?
Yeah. You're thinking it's better to be patient. You forgot the courage needed to fight. You sound like that. Weren't you the one who told Sadako to be brave over the phone? My words had clearly hurt Rika's feelings. She bit her lip and went quiet for a moment.
If I talk to you, you might get killed too.
Well, I don't want that, but if we don't do anything, you're going to get killed, right? We don't want a future without you either, Rika.
What?
You may not want to get us involved, but likewise, we don't want to lose you either. We welcome the struggle. Besides, you know how powerful we can be together. I'm sure we can solve anything. We all work as one.
Not even our combined strength can solve this problem.
You don't want to talk to us because you don't want to drag us into it, right? So, what you're saying is that you want to die without telling us anything?
I guess that's what I'm saying.
Don't think that being patient is the same as being brave. Remember the courage to fight. You can talk to me anytime once you organize your feelings. We'll help you. You can count on us.
Thank you.
Rika was wearing a sorrowful smile. I could tell she appreciated my sympathy. I don't know why, but Rika's troubled by something. It's a matter of life and death for her. She can't even talk to us about it. At the very least, she won't talk to me.
How was it, Keiichi?
Is Rika troubled by something? That doesn't happen very often. Sadako, this is gonna sound strange, but is there any chance that someone's threatening Rika's life?
What? What in the world are you saying, Keiichi?
Rika's the village mascot. People worship her. No one would ever try to kill her. What's this? What are you guys talking about? The more I talked to my friends, the stranger it seemed that someone would try to kill Rika. Everyone was even more confused than I felt. Rika didn't talk to me about what's troubling her, but I'm sure there's something very serious going on with her. If she really trusts us, I'm sure she'll talk to us soon. Let's believe everything she tells us if she opens her heart. Okay? We all looked at each other and nodded. And then, here's a new tip. Another discolored notebook. Number 34. The Son of God promised that he would be resurrected within 3 days. Sinful men guarded his grave to make sure he would not wake up, but that was foolish of them. He meant that his spirit and his lessons would be resurrected, not his physical shell. Do not be afraid of physical death. If you achieve great things, you will live again. You have surpassed death and become immortal. A demon took the Son of God to a cliff and told him to jump off. He claimed if he was really a son of God, a miracle would help him survive. He tried to challenge the Lord. The Lord challenges humans, but humans may not challenge the Lord. The challenge is to suspect. Suspicion will speak words of evil into your ears and will make you falter. Do not doubt your own achievements. Do not doubt your own life. Do not doubt your contributions. Do not let others criticize your achievements. That is the same as doubting your own life. Hifumi Tea. Okay, so we'll stop there today. I believe tomorrow we're gonna... I believe it's gonna be the conclusion. And then on Thursday, we're gonna read Matsuri Bayashi. It's one of my second favorites, but not my favorite. That would belong to Minagoroshi.